Welcome, everybody, to Show Us Your Tips, courtesy of Pro Group Racing, our midweek preview, as we do each and every week on a Tuesday night. Beaver, how are you, my friend?
Very good, thanks, Dagsta. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Just looking forward to a very good day of racing tomorrow at Canterbury and Sandown. Sandown's been very good to us lately. Canterbury, I guess we're hoping for a reasonable track. Bit on pacey. So let's kick off in Sydney. Any thoughts on the meeting tomorrow before we kick off?
Yeah, I thought it was an okay meeting. I thought there was a few good races there, a little bit of value, and hopefully a few winners for us.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. How do you think the track's going to play? I'm until convinced otherwise, thinking it's going to be on pace, treated as regular Wednesday Canterbury, and that's how I've approached the meeting. You're keen to kick off in the first, though. What do you like?
Yeah, in the first, Daggy, my best bet of the day in Sydney actually comes up, and that's Cabedennia? Is that how you say it, mate?
Cabedennia. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yep. So I thought it was pretty good in its first race, and I'm expecting that to have some natural improvement from that start. Probably, could have just as easily won the race. It's drawn well. McDonald's aboard, and I think it beats a slightly easier field than what it raced first up. So I'm expecting it to win and win well.
Excellent.
It'll race on the pace, and we'll soon see if the track is playing that way.
Yeah, the only one I was sort of concerned about here was Nash on the Kiwi horse Skagerrak, but I couldn't find anything in the trials to convince me otherwise. So I think that's a good way to start the day. I think punters get off to a good start in the first. Into the second race.
Good.
The second race, 3-year-old Maiden. Beaver, anything for us?
Nothing for me, mate.
I was disappointed by the price here, but I got keen before the prices came up. I was keen on Private Cheetah, the Gary Moore horse with Tim Clark. I thought it might have gone up much longer, but since I guess the word's got out, John Moore's coming back and he's training with his brother. I think they're starting much shorter in the market than they probably should be. I was hoping $7 or $8 here, but I thought they will try. I thought the trial was quite well. Looks like it's going to punch across and lead this race, and I thought Private Cheetah in the second race, $3. It is his favourite. I'm actually a bit embarrassed to say that, but
$3.60. You can get $3.60.
Yeah, I think it's trialled well, and I think Canterbury suit, and I think this is a good way to roll from the first one. A few, the Waller horse and a few other ones there concern me a bit. I thought Provide ran really well at behind Let It Pour at Gosford, but at $3.80 there, you get $4. I think that's a good bet there. Private Cheetah. Unfortunately, sometimes the market's a bit too smart for us as well, Beav.
Yeah, that's it, mate. They're obviously pretty impressed with this thing's trial, and therefore the price has gone up accordingly. But it'll be interesting to follow what happens on race day, and I would expect if any more money comes through it, then you probably want to be on.
Into the third of the day. Anything for us here?
Yeah, mate. My next tip of the day comes up in this race, and it's in the form of Monsieur Sisu. So a horse that I tipped last start and it won well. I don't see any reason why it can't perform well again tomorrow. It's drawn their inside gate. It'll go forward. If there's anything in the track for the on-pace runners and the leaders, then this is going to be certainly very hard to catch. And I don't see any reason with the claim of Louise Day why it can't be hard to run down.
No, I'm with you 100%. I think we said it 2 weeks back. Monsu Sisu's going life is 900 meters, Canterbury, get on the bunny and just do your best. And it's got
Get a sting out of the track.
Yeah, just tick, tick, tick for Monsu Sisu. If it's ever going to put a couple back to back, this is the chance. Nothing else even that I would be interested in. I think home ground showed itself up last week, and gate one, Louise Day straight on the pace. I'm with you. One of the better bets of the day here, over 900 metres.
Yeah, I do have one in the fifth, mate, and it comes up in the form of the Cummings trained Plaquette.
Very good, very good.
I think this is, I think it overcome some difficulties first up I think again will be improved by that run. Had some good form last preparation. The only downside is it is drawn the outside gate, and I am just hoping it gets a little bit of luck in running to be able to get a spot and be able to produce a nice little finish at the end. So as long as it doesn't get too far back in the field, I'm just hoping that I don't snag it all the way back from gate 13 and it gets too far out of its ground to make up the ground at in the Canterbury Straight. So fingers crossed there that they find a spot and maybe in the 3 wide trail if it has to. And yeah, I think at $2.70, if it was drawn well, it'd probably be even money. So you're probably getting a bit more of a price based on where it's drawn.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. I am really keen on this. Produced at the Kenzo track, it beat up Big Parade, who I guess Weisbrook, Eva, who's a Saturday winner, Axe, who's in this race as well. Plaquette produced the best figures of the day over the course and distance to come home and win there. It's got J-Mac on board now. It is the only reason it's this price is because it's gate 13. I think this could even be good enough to overcome the bias. I think I'm pretty keen on Plaquette, and I'm pretty keen on blue colours at Canterbury, and I'm with you. You summed up very well.
Good.
And let's have a look here at the 6 races of the day. I've got one here for you. Anything here, Beav?
Oh, yeah, you can fire away. I do have a bit of a liking, but yeah, go for it.
Obviously, we talked about Big Parade first up a couple of weeks back at Kenzo. This now comes to Canterbury and track suits. I'm just going to spec one here at about $10. Testify the Hawks horse. Had a really good prep first up in Melbourne, undefeated down there, 3 starts. Came up to Sydney, didn't do much. Time off, trialled really well. Last trial was awesome. It's now $10 tomorrow, and it may have bias against it tomorrow, which is why Big Parade will start favourite. I think this might be a good horse. What do you reckon?
Look, I'm willing to follow up Big Parade after its first up run. I thought it was a decent run. I think you're right. It's going to draw the 1 gate. It's probably going to even sit closer to the pace tomorrow. It is carrying 62, but they're all carrying a bit of weight in this race. But 62 is a little bit of a concern. But I think it's going to prove really hard to beat in a race like this second up.
Let's be honest. It's carrying 62 and it's got like top striker to go past it. There's not much here. Big Parade's a tremendous bet at 310. I thought actually it was shorter. I'm with you. Like I said, it was my best of the day at Kenzo a couple of weeks back, and I think it's here. This is up to run really well. I was just more.
Yeah, I certainly think it's hard.
I was just more expecting Testifier at which is a fun thing because you look at the top 7 in this race, all have 60 kilos. I was just more expecting maybe a bit of ability, but it's going to be at Jag Back, Testifier, Brock Ryan. Big Parade's the one to beat.
Gate 15.
Yeah, no doubt in the world that's going to go back. And Big Parade is going to have all the advantages here. And after taking the evens a couple of weeks back, $3.10 is a good bet. They're clearly the 2 in this race. And I think you've covered off well there.
Yeah.
Heading to the last. Any thoughts here?
Yeah, look, I got a little bit of a liking here for one at some odds. Super Longley, around the $9 mark. Again, it's drawn well. Again, probably the only thing that's going to go against this horse is it's going to get back in the field and it's going to have to reduce one of its really good finishes. I'm hoping it just get a little bit of luck in running, some gaps open up in the straight, and maybe it can come over the top of them, or certainly sneak into a place if it can't do that.
No, awesome. No, that's one I hadn't found. I'm keen here one as well. At a bit of each way odds, Avon River, which is not, how do I say it nicely, not a winning horse. I thought at $7 it was with J-Mac on. I think it's a sign of intent. Drawn for a blending run, so you want to be able to run on. But I thought Avon River might be a good way to finish a day here. It was around $7.50 this afternoon. now under $6, and I think that's for Seeker. Yeah, sorry, it is the right one. For Seeker and G-Trail was a trial it came out of. Obviously, G-Trail speaks for itself after this weekend, and for Seeker Trial Awesome is going to be popping up very soon. I just thought that was one that at about $7.50 is a great each way bet. So there's two for us in the last, I suppose, Beaver.
Perfect, mate.
All right.
What do you got as your best?
My best is going to be actually Plaquette, race 5, number 4, about $3 mark for the blue colours, and I'm going to be all blue this week because I'm going to make Avon River my value. Race 7, number 2, about here it's $7.50, but you can get about $6
$6
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he's come there. What about yourself?
Yeah, my best bet comes up in the first, Cabedennia. Race 1, number 2 is my best bet of the day, and my value bet comes up in the last, in the same race as you, mates, is number 12, Super Lonely.
Wow, that's nice find there, Beef. Might be an interesting trifecta or Cornell play with the two of us just there.
Yes, mate. And the quaddie?
And you're in charge of the Sydney Quaddie.
I am, mate. I am in charge of the Sydney Quaddie, and I've got hopefully a winner for you here. First leg, 2, 7, 8. In the second leg, I've got 4, 7, 11. In the third leg, I've got 1, 7, 10, and 14. And in the last leg, I've got 2, 6, 10, and 12.
Beautiful.
144 combos at around about 50 for the $50 is 35%.
Excellent. That's a pretty sound looking quaddie, actually. We head down south to Sandown. It is a good fall right now. There's been rain around today. If you're watching the races at Moe, it was a little bit damp there, but the belief is it should be okay. Rail out 10, generally hillside track lets you run on. Rail out 10, bit of a concern, but I'm treating it as it's played the last few months, which has been pretty much run on and given most swoopers a chance there. Any thoughts on the track itself, Beav, at Sandown?
Yes, yeah, I think that's a fair assumption there, mate. I think if you can win on pace, but you're certainly not without a show if you can if there's a little bit of pace on and you can produce that powerful finish.
Yep. And you're going to kick off early, are you?
My first bet doesn't come up till race 3, unless you've got something before that, mate.
No, I'm with you. Interesting. Actually, I'll just
Yeah.
a couple of very good races early. Some interesting stuff there. I sort of wanted to go back to Star Earl, but when you have 4 of them crossing the line in 2 weeks back and you're coming in the same horses here, I couldn't get excited about race 2, but I think Star Earl's suited out to the mile, but I can't give it as a tip. But race 3, Beef, talk about this.
Yeah, it's pretty open, the first 2 races, for horses that haven't won a race, or a few of them haven't. Race 3, my tip comes up the top weight here. Asar, is it? From the Hayes Dabanig stable. The top weight, won well last start, only had the 2 starts. Will be having its 3rd start there. Odds are a little bit skinny around the $2.10 mark, but I just think this is probably a class above these horses, and I think this will win and win pretty comfortably.
Can I tell you now, I was all set to make this best of the day this afternoon, and I was worried about the Freeman horse in danger. Now that's out, this is a moral. Asar, race 3, number 1. If you can still get above even money, go back and look at its last course and distance run. It was tremendous. Sat on pace. It ticks every box. Sat on pace, kicked away, won dominantly. I'm with you. Can't add much more.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's right, mate. And I think, as you said, with the scratching, it's come in from $3.30 to $2.10 with that scratching.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't get into odds on.
Yeah, I agree. I think by the time most people see this, it's probably going to start $1.90.
Yep.
and good chance, better and bigger and better things. Race 4. Anything to stayers?
Leave me out, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit the same there with Tysonic. I think it'll run well, but not something I can particularly lead into a bet. Which takes me to race 5, which is something for you, Beef.
Yeah, mate. Again, my nice little bet here, Dirty Deeds, around the $3.70 mark. Thought it was pretty impressive last start, and its other two runs this prep have been not without merit. It's drawn again to get a good run. It's be suited by this track. Its last start was very good. It sat wide and still finished hard. And yeah, I think it will be very hard to beat in a race of this nature.
Definitely. I again can only agree with you because it was one I was sort of keen on, but I struggle to pull the trigger on 1,000-meter races sometimes. Sometimes they're a little bit too much, going on. But you've found the two that I was sort of keen earlier in the day. I'm going to get to the next race though, which is the 6th, the clash of Lunicorn and Peggy Celine. One of the better races of the day. Have you got an opinion here?
Yeah, I do.
Which way are you
I'm
going?
actually going to go with, I'm going, neither.
Oh, okay.
I've actually come up with my value bet of the day here is, oh, please, Diana.
Okay.
From the McAvoy stable, first up. So it's resuming here. It's had a really good trial in South Australia.
Yep.
They've brought it to Melbourne. And last preparation, she started odds on and probably should have won on debut. It was a pretty good thing beaten, and then came out and won well the next start. And it's got form in Group 3 racing, where it ran fifth, less than two lengths off the winner. I think that was in the Group 3 Typhoon Tracy.
Yep, the Friday night.
So I can't remember what won that. I'm just trying to
Catherine,
think.
who we haven't seen yet, but Tenley obviously is the Godolphin horse that's trialing well and has come back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Miss Catherine, that's right. Which is a pretty good horse. And then also at Flemington, ran less than a length and a half behind Maramia.
Yep.
Manamia and Mactaba. So I think it's got some pretty fair form for a race like this. And I think if the pace is on, which it will be with Peggy Celine, this could be the one finishing hard down the middle of the track.
I'm actually going to go against you. I'm going to stick with my girl. She's been good to me for 6 weeks now. The only doubt was Lunicorn. I'm going to give it a run back. And Peggy Celine is going to just get the blending run from out wide, come across, do exactly what she's done twice in the last month, and just blend in and kick away at the end. And Ben Mellon will ride it very well. $5. You'll get better tomorrow. Actually, I think she'll drift. I think bit of talent in this race. I'm just going with the up and comer, Peggy Celine, to make it the three-peat at Sandown, and one of my better bets of the day there. I think it's going to be my value bet of the day because you're going to get $6 there. Obviously, both you and I have had a bit of watched Lunicorn quite closely, and spoken about it before. A nice horse. Just got a feeling it's going to need the run and be better down the road.
Yeah, good call. I just think they're giving a little bit of weight to the other thing as well. So I'm happy to take the 2 or 3 kilo weight pull of vote, please, Diana.
Yep.
And see how we go. I think it's drawn well. Probably drawn as good as anything other than Lunicorn. So if Luke Curry can ride this quietly, then we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, the knock on Lunicorn, drawn 2 at Sandown, it's going to be buried 4 back and need to extract itself somehow. I'd rather be in a running line there with both the two we've mentioned, blend and come home at the Hillside track.
Yep.
Race 7, Beaver. What do you reckon?
Yeah, mate. Another nice little horse comes up here for me in Lesage in the all blue colour. Coming stable, resuming tomorrow. It's got some good form, this horse, around the likes of Adelong. So it beat Adelong in Sydney in its last preparation. And I certainly think a horse like Adelong would be probably start favourite in a race like
Oh,
this.
we don't.
So if yeah, that's right, it'd be $1.50. So Lesage has form around that and has beaten it just before Adelong came out and won three in a row in Sydney. So for me, that looks pretty good form for a race like this. And if it can be anywhere near that type of form at $4, I think that's a nice little bet.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Into the 8th. I'm going to go with one at top weight here, Diode, over the benchmark 70 at 400 meters. The way it led, kicked away and won and ran through the line dominantly last start. I think it's here to run well again. I know it's 62.5, which might balk some people, but Louis Germain's taken 2 kilos off. A lot of chases here. It's actually an interesting race, but the more I dug into this race, I thought this is here to run well, and pretty keen to about the 550 race 8, number 1, Diode. Rich Hips, I made best of the day a couple of weeks ago and had no luck, but in sort of a whitish bottom heavy race, I think on pace is going to suit this, and I think it's here. Honest little horse, he's going to run well, Diode. Anything in this race?
No, I don't have anything specific in that. I did look at the field like you've come up with, and when I first looked at it, I went, it was a pretty impressive win last start. You're right, it did run through the line very well. I just was a little bit concerned that there may be a lot of pace on up front with the on paces, and that may not suit Diode. It may bring it unstuck. It certainly was in looked to be a high grade race last start, and it got a hefty weight, but it gets the claim of 2 kilos,
Yeah.
which brings it back to 60.5, which will play in its favour. But I just was a bit worried. I wasn't quite sure what the dangers would be, but I was just a bit worried that there may
The
be a
one at
bit
odds
of pace.
is number 15, Prophecies. Again, blue colours, Johnny Allen.
Yeah,
It was impressive, its last win against our favourite horse, whose name escapes me, the Freeman horse who we both just had a mental blank. London Folly. There it is. People's horse. London Folly. But it swooped down the outside and beat it.
Lakes Folly. Yeah,
Lake's Folly, sorry. London Lily's the sire of Britain, the other people's horse. But yeah, Lake's Folly, it beat it convincingly, or impressively, I should say. Rich Hips, I spruiked last time. A little bit disappointing. And I just thought on pace.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't be getting too excited if I beat home Lakes Folly because it's the biggest cat running around at the moment.
Correct. But I know you are a big fan, so I had to throw it in.
Yeah, thanks a lot, mate.
Let's finish the day with another interesting race here because I think there's a very good horse here. Drawn Gate
Me
1,
too.
and connections do not impress me, but I think it's actually the best horse in this race by a long way, and I'm going to tip against it. But what are you going to go if you're in last?
I'm going to go with Supergirl.
Okay, well, yeah, cool.
So Supergirl's my best bet of the day at the $4.20 mark. I think this is a really open race. I tipped Approach Discreet last start, and I thought it was pretty good, but it's up in class here. Supergirl, I thought it was a very impressive run last start. There was a lot to like about it, and I think they've got this horse set to move on to bigger and better things as it steps further up in distance. It steps up to 1800 tomorrow from the 1500, and they may even be thinking this is a Melbourne Cup horse.
Wow.
So if that's the case, then I would expect this horse to give a really, really good account of itself. But there you have it. That's the top tip for me.
Wow. I'll tell you now, the best horse in this race is Don't Doubt Dory by a long way. This is a good horse. I'm not tipping it tomorrow because I'm just nervous about connections and Durham Gate 1, which is why I'm actually going to tip your horse, Approach Discreet. Ollie or Sticks, very good win last start. Ducked and weaved and got up well. I think the draw's better today. I think this could be a Damien Oliver special in the last, just strengthening over the line. Of the two the two we just spoke about, Supergirl and Don't Doubt Dory. Obviously, the obvious dangers, but just going better connections and a better ride to win. Really, just backing connections there. And I've got an opinion, and I think I'm starting to think Don't Doubt Dory is a good horse, but it's not going to be. It's not going to get to Spring Carnival level without a change in jockey. I'll be honest.
Yeah, who the hell is the jockey?
Well, she won on it last start, but if you go back and watch a replay, the horse won the race. Carleen Heffel, which I'm sure she's a very, very nice girl. I don't know who she is, and that's all I can say without getting in
Has
trouble.
she ever ridden any other horse? Has she ever ridden any other horse other than this?
She rides a lot in the bush.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
hence why I
but
have.
stats aren't. But she keeps winning on it, so she keeps getting a ride. But this is a good horse.
Yeah, good on her.
Until
Yeah, good on
and
her.
I'm
Yeah,
happy for her, but until a D Oliver gets on this horse, it's not going to go much further than this. I think I've said
yeah.
that as respectfully as I can. I'm sure she's lovely, but we'll move on. Let's get to our best.
Super,
Best. Let's get
super girl, mate. Super girl.
okay. Well, it makes my quaddy easy because all three are going in. Let's have a look at our value for the day, though, Beaver. What have you got for us?
Value. My value bet. Let me just check my notes here, mate. My value comes up in race 6, number 14. Oh, please, Diana.
Ooh. My value is going to be my best of the last few months, but Peggy Celine, you get $6 for Peggy Celine. You know what she's going to do? She's going to run honestly. She's going to blend in. She's going to run away. It's around a $6 mark. It's a great value bet. I'm going to make my best of the day the last. I'm just going to back Ollie for a special there. Approach Discreet about the $5 mark. And what is your
There you
bet?
go. My best comes up in the same race, mate. I'm going Supergirl at around the $4.20 mark.
Well,
So we're going head to head.
yeah. Well, one of us will be.
This is good. This is
It's good. We're better against each
hopefully
other.
one of us. Yeah, we go good against each other.
Yeah.
So we just got to make sure one of us get the jockeys here.
Well, tomorrow one of us will be a prognosticator and one of us will be a fool. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
My quaddie numbers. We'll go to Melbourne. I'm in charge of the Melbourne quaddie. We'll kick off in the 9 races tomorrow, Sandown. 3 Lunicorn, 8 Monetizing, 9 Peggy Celine kicks us off. Into 3 Elite Legacy, 5. Actually, there's some scratching here. 3, 5, 8, 9, 11 in the second leg. There could be some scratching in that race. Now I think of it. 1 Diode, 2 Think and Fly, 11, 12, 13, 15. Into 2, 4, 5, and 6. Jack Reagan at 50s is the knockout I'm throwing in there. $50 gets you about 13.88%. But I'm just thinking about it, I think there's a couple of scratchings in the 1,000-meter race we can clean up there. Very
So I
good,
was
Peter.
just having a look here while you were doing your quaddie here, Daggy, and Supergirl is about 150 to 1 to win the Caulfield Cup.
Okay. And is that about right?
So it is in the markets. I'm guessing so. But yeah, it's just interesting. It's in the markets, and there you go. See,
So the cup, I haven't started them yet. The cup weights came out today for the Melbourne Cup, and I think final acceptors Cox Plate. Was there anything today? You're a surprise baby man. Are you still happy with that? For 54.5, I think it was.
yeah, I am after what I saw on Saturday. There was nothing that turned me off Surprise Baby. Actually, I thought the run was outstanding first up, and should have won the race. It wasn't the best ride, that's for sure, and it gave the winner. It should have taken the run the winner had, and the winner should have never got that run. And yeah, I'm a bit pissed off actually. So it cost me a few bucks.
Craig Williams at Moonee Valley, as I discussed last
Yeah.
week. Interesting thought I had though, because I was looking at it, and obviously it's a 5-year-old gelding now. I think gelding. It had the autumn off. It's obviously its whole goal in life is to win this year's Melbourne Cup. Have they left money on the table not playing Sydney Autumn this year? Should they have come back and had a run in Autumn? Try to win a Sydney
Don't
Cup
know.
or something? We're all going to be
No.
smarter. We're all going to be smarter after if it runs fourth this year. You'd say, "Oh, we should have gone and run this, this, and this." But sometimes I feel like sometimes they leave money on the table. Go and win a Sydney Cup. Go win a Doomben Cup. All of a sudden, you got $2 million in the bank and you're happy. I don't know. I'm not Nona.
We'll see. Good.
We'll all know. We'll all know after. We'll all know in December, I suppose. Beaver, it's been good chatting to you, my friend. Anything else to add?
What about my Brisbane tips, mate?
I was going to say the King of North. Go on. The King of North.
Yeah, I got 3 tomorrow up in Brizzy.
Hang on, let me write this down. Need to pay some rent.
Yeah.
All right, let me write this down. Go on. Fire away.
My first one's race 2, number 2, Prospectus.
Yep.
My next one comes up race 6, number 9, Tayella.
Mm-hmm.
And my final tip of the day comes up in race 7, number 10, Midland.
Beautiful. Very good. I better pick up the slack. I think going forward on the weekend, I'll leave you in charge of Queensland. I might pick up some Morphles stuff going forward.
Sounds like a plan.
I'll do some Adelaide stuff for us, eh?
Sounds like a plan, buddy. You get on it.
All right. It's been good. Good to see you, my friend.
Good.
We'll see you
And see you in a couple of days.
Thursday evening to talk about a red hot 3-year-old race. Send nominations for that.
Brilliant.
Yep. And we'll do a great.
No, I haven't had a look yet.
Farnham's back.
Beautiful.
It's red hot. All right. See you, buddy.
Catch you, mate.